Well, this is the killer whales are just super animals, aren't they? I mean, they're really top predators, totally charismatic, totally intelligent. And for Frozen Planet, we went to the Antarctic to look for them hunting seals. The thing is that they're hunting seals on top of the ice. So a pod of killer whales will swim into the ice and they sort of go different directions and they start popping their head up. And they are looking for seals lying out on top of the ice floes. And when they see a seal, then the killer whales will come together and they just have this fantastically coordinated action whereby 4 or 5 of them will line up in a line and they'll swim towards the ice floe, beating their tails in unison so that they create a wave. And this wave, which might be 1.5 meters high, breaks over the ice floe and washes the seal into the water where the killer whales can then attack it. But there are so many subtle bits, when we saw this, there are about 4 different kinds of seals lying on top of the ice floes, but there's only one of them that the killer whales confidently attack. They don't attack crab-eater seals because they are too aggressive, too mobile. The same with fur seals and with leopard seals, which are the other ones they could find. They're probably just too nippy, too mobile underwater, too much danger, basically, of them possibly scratching or injuring a killer whale. The ones they want are the Weddell seals, which are big, fat, and that little bit more cumbersome than the other ones. And when we watched the killer whales going through the ice floes, popping their head up, looking at the seals, we learned that they recognize, they know which seals are Weddell seals because they don't make waves around any of the other seals. Only when they find a Weddell seal will they make a wave big enough to wash the seal into the water. Now, no one had filmed this before, but although I heard of it actually when I worked in the Antarctic way back in 1976, I heard about this behaviour from another base which had seen the killer whales washing seals off rocks. So I knew that they did this kind of behaviour, and we looked for it on Blue Planet, we looked for it on Planet Earth, no success. And then finally, with Frozen Planet, we hit pay dirt. But it was an amazing sequence, and we were amazingly lucky to see it because there was only one pod we spent 5 weeks filming it, and there was only one pod of killer whales that did all the attacking. So you can imagine how what the chances are of finding that one pod that does all that behavior. And it's one of these behaviors which is probably rare overall, but if you can find the right pod, you can see enough of it. And we saw something like 25 attacks and about 120 waves being made. And it was really fascinating, absolutely. And it was one of the highlights of my filming career. It's everyone's dream is to film something that no one else has filmed before. And if it involves 2 big charismatic animals, killer whales and seals, and such a spectacular piece of behavior, well, those chances don't come along very often.
Have you ever been in the water when they've been around?
Well, we did go in the water a few times once the killer whales had done the hunting. But to be honest, they weren't interested. 1 or 2 of them came over, did a quick swim by and headed off. The reason we didn't go in the water when they were hunting is that there was quite a chance, you might disturb them. I don't think there was any chance of actually being attacked by the killer whale. Killer whales they know what's going on, etc. But there were a lot of bubbles in the water and a lot of, action going on. But the main reason we didn't go in the water was because, first of all, there was less chance of disturbing the behavior when you filmed it with an underwater camera from a boat. But secondly, it was quite fast moving. When they make these waves over the little flows, they wash the wave. The wave washes the flow maybe 15 meters away, and then the seal goes in the water and it's zooming from one flow to the other, looking for some cover, etc., etc. So it was almost too fast moving to keep up with it underwater. Whereas because some of the action is on the surface, you could follow it with the boat. You could dip the camera in the water quickly. You could get the shots that you wanted and bits of the action much more efficiently than actually getting in the water and trying to do it yourself.
Yeah. I just thought you'd get eaten by a whale. You went in.
Sorry? No, there's the only times killer whales have ever been dangerous to people on the ice is when the killer whale has thought that they were penguins. Killer whales have lots of different ways of hunting penguins. Sometimes they pop up close to the ice floe and the penguins get a bit panicked and drop into the water and things. But killer whales have never attacked a person underwater. And I think, to be honest, they're too intelligent, and their diets are too specific. They recognize the different seals. They would recognize a human being in the water, and they would think this isn't something that I normally attack. So I'm just going to